The volcano have resolved the problem for that had been faced with that I stopped. To determine its destination by guess and went home even have a problem. The Viking registration fee arrived in Windhelm remain insufficient to Merchant Guild. Problems that the city is experiencing was something more than the Viking had imagined. Whether the Viking be active as a merchant in that confront the problem the town are having.
What a thing. But was so even when it came to town. This town do accept Nord nuisance.
Though I am a Nord, you cannot like this town. There is a smile nowhere such a town. This is the first time for a long time, though I did a trip. A chief here looks just like my hateful Halfdan, to miss it. It seemed that only an idea was big like the model of the fool, who did not look reality in the face.
I agree. Stormcloaks may not beat the Empire by that state. The war to be able to win cannot win in the Imperial Court, letting the internal conditions of the own country such easily come to light.
Don't say so. There is a lot of Nord which there is without a heart being broken thanks to the ideal that Wilfric publishes.
It's rude, although you agree?
It is the old soldier who has only survived by a former war. There are not the names to give to the old man, who only took much life. Doomish went to this ground and for what reason?
There was business in the Merchant Guild. I kept the letter from a fort, but I regret that I sent to Zabe.
Why regret?
Because had delivered the letter was totally fool's errand. It's like saying that white waste death soldiers work in how much front even if we set a good ideal in any.
Does the master know whether it was the letter, what kind of contents?
Let's talk calmly. How about if I sit down?
Then I will attend it. By the way, it's the tone of the letter of a while ago.
So that, since the fort of Smiths were killed to Steelfield, it was content to inform of it replenishment and food shortages.
Did you mean is it not the of Fort Ammo?
Although I hear. Why did you think that it was Fort Ammo?
It's close to the fort that there is a cave called Lost Knife. There the thieves have heard a rumor that called was to haunt. The fort that was there also bases other than Nord. Is for Wilfric probably was important prefer that a person other than the Nord was there that its role. If this is the fort, that Cupid fort is configured only in the Nord quickly move the troops, who, and would that it had eliminated the things that would pose a threat. Results he lives suffered a setback for the deprived Windhelm, as, but still that fort for him is probably a thing called not be able to help.
It's not no different with such thinking, Summer.
It may be so. However, the Skyrim is also the birthplace of Nord. I want you to be doing to understand you want to think there is a special presence.
Is it not this town to show off when it is the one of a kind? There is not it, but hardly looks have a lot on Windhelm and Dazay with a town which can be proud of Nord.
It's the pain becomes such words appear. It's certainly not certainly stand to see the current situation, as you say. There was not it with such an atmosphere before. I want to regain former Windhelm. Our merchant guild also me cooperation to it.
Whether you agree have a merchant guild and lead? And survive and I get to tell the location to Dazay.
And may not, but she's a little strong person of habit. Here is merchant guild. But a person here is considerably strong in a habit.
Dazay had business. It is hopeless without meeting.
Welcome, Mr. Brunolf. What kind of interesting story do you hear today?
I brought the guest who said that you had business today.
Nice to meet you. My name is Mai, which is entrusted with the Windhelm branch. Because the chat is anything too. This way, please.
It's as a fledgling merchant. Although come to the registration in this guild, the registration fee has not been available yet.
Fault. I know registration charges. Then has other local merchant guild been able to already finish the registration?
I have finished the registration to Ibonvale Guild.
Okay, it is a place of sweet Yuki of that thought. There is not me like Yuki indulgently. Did you not hear it from war that the economy was not bleeding, and her? It is me to have taught her the thing. It is no use even if I gather only common soldiers to win war. If there is not a soldier of the sturdiness or a splendid schemer of the command, I cannot win war. A person demanding it in Merchant Guild of Eastmarch is only such people. Did you not have a glimpse of the present conditions of Windhelm before I came to this alley? It is not necessary to put 10,000 gold in cash unlike other branch offices if I register as a merchant here. People who can pay such a cash anyway are limited to.
It grateful. Hannes has just had wondered what to do about insufficient little.
Do not misunderstand it. Though it is not necessary to put it in cash, I have you put the article which is higher than 10,000 gold instead. It registration charges here, but my buying it only as for one article. I do not let you do the registration here if not filled with one article to 10,000 gold. Of course, for balance beyond 10,000 gold pays in cash.
If the conditions are not difficult to prepare, then the cash?
Do I not need to enroll in this branch office forcibly? I hesitate about the roadside even if I registered as a merchant in this crown when it is not a person with the quality to be able to earn that much. Were you not able to prepare for registration charges before you arrived at here from Waterrun? Such a pretended merchant has nothing necessary for the Merchant Guild of this Eastmarch.
That's pretty dry and young split.
What is not coaxed visually is this, but I am older than Yuki.
Well, even if I do not do the welcome, that Miss Mai is severe for suddenly.
There are many people who visit here to make a hit as a merchant. And I enrolled in this guild for the money that I scraped up desperately, and I watched the person who just lost the roadside mini. Merchant Guild is the organization which was established to make at least people happy. However, I do not want to increase people becoming unhappy because of us. Therefore I decide to take such a method on the occasion of registration because I do not let you make a person unhappy.
Even raise the ideal, either because it is not in the same way as this town to show off the difference between the reality?
Well, when people having power with an ideal do not gather to some extent, a person oppressed for an ideal comes out by all means. Existence to be called this town and summer proves it. I think that I want you to prove it whether you can reclaim one's way and own.
The challenge, Dazay shall receive. But Dazay are not familiar with this area. Either may be heard one in carrying purchased the product.
Please whatever you want.
Yeah, there is also ebony in specialty of this earth. But, it is not heard even the rumor before Dazay arrives here. And he came by to the castle before you stopped by the guild, but has been frowned soon as where it was that of ebony to mouth.
It is to feel lucky that a carpet did not have it before you arrive at the guild.
Don't you guys?
There is surely the mine where ebony is produced abundantly in Eastmarch. But it is the whole families of the orc to own the mine. Windhelm. In this case it is the gaffer who should say Stormclocks. They do not have means to obtain from the orcs only by purchasing it.
Or things like that. So where is the orcs of settlements?
There is a village where I held a small mine which is called Kanesgrove when I go south from Windhelm and go into the mountain path. Malachite is a mine produced abundantly here. There is the burial mound of the dragon when I climb the mountain path of the village more, and there is a village called Narzulber when I go ahead through the mountain path more.
Whether it is better that he called you agree. Sir Brunolf? Sir said that there is no persecution by previous Windhelm race about now?
previously was not less persecution of other races. It cannot be said that there was no, but now too severe.
So whether Sir thinks really want to regain the previous Windhelm?
Of course. I write it, and am shown, but I do not think so. It is judged in a dream of Isengard, there is not it, and how you died how nor it was valid. I believe that the value is measured how you live before you die. Then I make up my mind to inflame for life in the life battlefield, that is called the life, until I run out.
If the words are real, I'm good as challenge was won from the guild.
Did it occur to me what it was?
Yes. Genius magician, there is a request to you.
Stop calling it a genius magician, because I am not conceited anymore. In what's catty?
You stay in Windhelm this time. And handlings of other families except Nord want you to check the state in this town. Is the analysis of that place easy if educated?
Irony is plentiful. Well, good. I undertook the request.
Asked he. Sir Brunolf, I lie not in the words that you said that burn the life of the public in order to regain the previous Windhelm?
Is not whether alive if naught of it is determined by whether the dead is the dream of Isengard was shown written, and I do not think so.
Thank you, sir. Mercurio also has become sober work. I ask to overlap.
It will wrestle with every effort that I can do.
Then shall I start an action?
It was a busy party.
But it was people who unusually shined among the people who visited here. Even if an article to bring is what kind of thing, I will surely bring in an interesting thing. I give it.
Hey,
What up?
Kajit caravan that has been opened.
Or matter of example of flute. Reluctant not but whether I asked. Madeline is after a long absence.
Is it Dzaeov, the imitation, if I think who it is? In addition, will there not be the intention to object to the business of Madeline?
Also not willing to say what to say if you do not bring in things like a problem. Came there is that you want to hear today.
Challenge? It's sorry if care that is not a business.
It's up to reply whether become business. Did not apparent the flute made of Sardial dogwood?
That, of course, Madran knows Racine is married flute. Racine is Madran's second cousin. Yes, Racine played the married flute for us.
Is there him here?
But Racine needs to walk on warm sand, not cold ice. Racine wanted a warmer hearth than ours. Sarah, Racine cannot be found here anymore. Search for my second cousin in a lift. That is where his feet wanted to wander.
A clue was found. It seems to be ripped and let's go immediately.
Dzae understands the feeling that wants to go immediately. However, what is your work that you should do now? Riffin is the land among mountains. The step will be stopping in front of a warm fireplace for a while so that Madeline says, I can catch up with it by all means now if I settle that you should do it quickly.
Oh, sorry. It was too disappointing and has been excited a little because it was the thing which knew the whereabouts of the flute.
Madeline, your story were useful. This is the etiquette.
I talk as many as one likes if I get money by such chattering. How is the story of the giant who looked last time?
Dzae is not so free.
Provoking to confront the challenge from the guild. Velja found a clue, which is one of the purposes of the trip flute. Mercurio remaining in the city, and complicated in order to collect information of people persecuted. Each thought can create ways to be able to work together. What?